Hey Jessica, sorry it took me a while to get to this, but finally getting to breaking down the video of your snatch here. So what I wanted to do is we'll go through the lift. I'll probably do it at full speed here, then we'll do it in slow motion. Then after that, I'll kind of go down through first pull, second pull, third pull, and kind of show you where I think the movement fault is that might affect all the way down the chain. So let's watch the lift here initially. So not too bad. I can't remember what you told me this was as far as weight compared to your 1RM, but looked pretty stable at the bottom position there in the overhead squat, and actually getting out of the hole there was pretty good. Okay, now let's break it down into slow motion. Just one more time going through here. Very good. And then from here, what I'll do is just kind of show you the expected or what the bar path should look like during your snatch. Now, I know you don't know this already, but initially off the ground, the bar should be coming back towards you. And then once we're getting past the first pull and we get to where the bar is making contact with your hips, you're going to get some anterior translation. So the bar will go forward in front of the starting position, and then you should be able to pull it back over top of you and land a little bit posterior to where you started where the bar actually started at. Now that's what it should look like. Let's take a look at what yours actually looks like. Whoops, let me make sure we get the right one here. Well, maybe we'll see if we got the right one. Yeah, this one has it. So you have a pretty good posterior movement of the bar there to start. So you are going back towards your body, which sometimes people will struggle with. But what you do is it's coming back towards you a little way too quick, and then you see how much more anterior translation you have there. So the bar is going way far in front of where that initial starting point is. So let's start here. And how far forward that is traveling overhead. So it has the right angle, but like I said, it's just exaggerated at the change in positions, more from the forward to back position. It's a little, like I said, exaggerated. Now let's go back to the other video without that there. Oops. And let's start with, let me go forward a little bit here so we can see where the front of your foot is, because that's where we want to kind of get a starting line. So watch the bar path here as it's coming in. So where you're starting there might be a little anterior, but we're going back and then shooting way forward, getting underneath the bar. Now let's clear that and just take a look at the first pull in general. So getting off the ground here, your setup position's really good. So let's move a little forward here to where everything looks kind of stacked in position there, lats engaged. But as you go to start lifting, the very first thing that happens is the hips shoot up. So look at the difference in position there versus here. So as you're going through the first pull, the angle of your upper back should not change from ground to shins. So when we're getting to the shins there, you're pretty much in a full RDL position there, opposed to where you began at. Now, I think this is the start of why you have so much forward anterior translation in the actual lift, because once you get past the knees, you're trying to shoot your hips forward to catch up to the lift. So once we get to this position, you're trying to shoot those hips forward so fast that you're basically running into the bar too early, where again, you should, from here, you're going to want to start seeing that anterior translation closer to when the bar is hitting your hip crease, and you're probably about mid-thigh there. So as you're hitting there and the hips are coming forward, it's shooting the bar path way more forward than it needs to be. So when you're hitting triple extension, that bar should be riding up along your thighs and maybe just leaving the front of your thighs at this point, and it's a good foot and a half out in front of you. So that is just one area that you're probably losing a great amount of power there, because if that bar was up against your body, you would be able to get further back into triple extension, maybe be back a little further opposed to the more up and down there. And we all know triple extensions where you're going to produce the most power. Now, once you get past that position, you do a good job. I mean, again, you're jumping forward due to the bar path. So if you weren't shooting the bar out so far, you would be able to kind of just jump right underneath the bar opposed to jumping forward, but you do a good job at recovering and getting underneath there to actually not miss the lift. But again, it's all kind of stemming from this initial starting position. So if once you get off the ground, if you were able to maintain the spinal position through the first pull, then the second pull is going to be a little bit more vertical opposed to trying to shoot the hips forward. And then you're not going to get as much anterior translation, which means you're not going to have to jump forward underneath the bar, and probably be able to put a little bit more weight on there too, if you didn't have to kind of control the weight and jump underneath it from being out in front of you. I can send over some exercises for you to do to work on that, but one big thing would be just a lot of pause lifts, getting from the ground and going up maybe 3 inches, pausing, 3 more inches, pausing, 3 more inches, pausing until you get to the knees. But in each one of those positions, making sure you're trying to maintain your back position and you're not shooting your hips up. That would just be the first thing I would see. But again, I can send you over a couple maybe accessory movements and things that you could be doing as a warm-up to try to make this a little bit more of an efficient lift. Any other questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks.